Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Dave. I play tenor sax and I'm here to help you with your saxophone challenges and issues and problems, just basically to help you play better. Get over the hurdle of whatever you're working on. If you have any questions, hey, reach out to me. Leave a comment in the comments below, or you can email me directly, davegoodsax@gmail.com. I'll leave a link to my website and I'll also link to my email in the description below. Today I want to talk about, for those of you who are, on the fence and perhaps you would like to expand your saxophone-ness, or perhaps you're just starting out. Maybe you don't know which sax you'd like to play. I'm going to talk about alto or tenor. Should you play alto sax or should you play tenor sax? Or both? Hey, why not? All right, alto sax is a little bit smaller. Now, granted, I have vintage horns here. This is an olds tenor saxophone from, man, we can't figure out when it was made, but you can tell they're a little bit bigger. This is a Con 6M alto sax. Where's the mouthpiece, Dave? Well, I took it off, I'm washing it out. I just finished practicing on the tenor sax. And there are, some significant differences here in just basically size and weight, all right? Alto sax is smaller, and a lot of times we'll start young players out on an alto sax because their fingers can reach the keys and they can manage the size of the alto sax. And that's why in school band you often have 17 alto sax players and no tenor sax players until you get to high school, right? So anyway, here we go. Tenor sax is going to be bigger. Get back a little bit so you can see. Well, you can see the difference. It's bigger. It's in the key of B flat. Alto sax is in the key of E flat. And to a beginner, that's not really that important. It gets to be a little bit later. But we'll talk more about voices. The voice of the tenor sax is deeper and has been compared more to a masculine, the male voice range, fits more into the tenor sax sound. The alto sax has a much higher vocal range, okay? It's significant that we consider that, and we consider the tenor sax, all right? Because of the range of either instrument, they occupy different places as we stack them up in, say, musical performance, okay? The alto sax is as such, the voice of so many wonderful jazz recordings. When you play alto sax in a big band, and this will come along later, you're occupying a different strata as a soloist and as a performer. This voice is very, very, very present. The tenor sax, being a much deeper, richer voice, is easy to hide in the mid-range of the band, all right? You can do a lot of work in the middle range of the band. That ain't gonna happen with the alto sax. In fact, some alto sax players have reached out to me and said, man, what do I do when I'm not soloing? Isn't that a great question? Can you play funk on an alto sax and a tenor sax? Yep, you can play all the same music, right? Funk, jazz, gospel, blues, you name it. You can play both on all forms on both horns. And I'm not going to get into baritone sax or soprano sax today. Just these two babies right here. Do I play both? Sure. I play tenor sax more. Alto sax is what I started on because just like a lot of, emerging players, I was a little guy once and I could hold an alto sax. And I played the alto sax all through high school until I found and discovered the baritone sax. And I qualified for a very, very high-level jazz band on baritone sax because I wasn't a solo chair in jazz. I didn't even know jazz existed till I got to high school, right? I got into tenor sax much later in life, after years on the baritone sax. Baritone sax is again in the same key as an alto sax, meaning E flat. But again, like I said, for the emerging sax player, that's more information than you care about at this point. All right, so you've got different voicing, and that means the saxophones kind of occupy a different place. The alto sax is a very, very present soloist. The tenor sax, if you listen to, tenor sax solos, they're a little bit different, right? It's a deeper sound coming out of your throat, a throatier sound. a deeper, richer sound than the alto sax. They're both beautiful. They both have their place in pop music, and they are, I think they're awesome. The tenor sax, I think, sort of chose me as my own personal voice. I feel more comfortable playing tenor sax and expressing what I have to say as a musician on tenor sax. But the alto sax is a teaching instrument. Because once again, you get a room full of saxophone players together, and you get students, and you're going to find a lot of altos. Now, if you decide that you want to do both, and why not? Why shouldn't you? You're an adult learner and you've had plenty of time on the alto and you want to get a tenor. Do it. Grab it. One saxophone is all saxophones. They all finger the same. There's no difference, all right? How you play them is a little bit different. And I'm going to say something that's going to get me into some hot water here. I've said it before, and it's caused problems in the past. I've gotten lots of some heated mail in the past, but the alto sax is harder to play than the tenor sax. Oh boy, there I said it. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. It's harder to play than the tenor sax. Harder to finger? No, it's not harder to finger because they're the same. It's lighter to hold. I found that, I'm going to lay this down. I've gotten heavily into the alto sax again because I had a wrist issue. I broke my wrist and arthritis set in and caused some pain. So I started playing the alto a little bit more we worked on the wrist and figured out what the heck was wrong with it. But is it harder to play the alto than to play the tenor? Well, here's the thing. When you get into, you're playing in pop music bands. If you're playing in bands that are based on the 1-4-5 chord exchange, 1-4-5, like, we're talking blues, we're talking rock, we're talking, funk. Here's what you're gonna find is that the keys that you play are going to be a little bit more difficult on the alto sax as opposed to the tenor sax. Alto sax is a minor third below concert. Tenor sax is a whole step above concert. And so we tend to find ourselves playing keys that are a little bit easier, on tenor sax as opposed to alto sax. But I'm gonna just take a step further and say that the voice of the alto sax is hard to make sound really, really pretty. It's extremely high. It's way up there in the high range, not as high as soprano sax. And those of you who know me know that I consider soprano sax a brass-plated clarinet. Boy, did that. I'm going to get mail for that. But anyway, hard sax to play. Alto sax, next in line. Takes a huge amount of compression to play the alto sax. I mean, big air to make this thing sound right. Look at a lot of guys that really play alto sax, like David Sanborn, Phil Woods. You can find them on YouTube. Just look at the videos. Tree trimmers are here, and that's what that noise is in the background. Bear with me. They're working really, really hard. There's a lot of air going through this beast to make it play in tune and to make those notes sound really, really happy. And you got to spend time doing long tones on notes that are extremely high and might not be comfortable to your ears, okay? So ear protection is a real good idea. I'm going to set this baby down over here. The Con 6M is a marvelous, wonderful horn, and I plan to use it on the 27th when I have a house full of people again, and we're gonna ramble on some blues and funk over here. But like I said, tenor sax is the voice. This is my voice. All right. Is it harder to play this than the alto? Well, in different ways. Each horn demands a different approach, okay? Not just because of the musical stature, just because, where the horn sits in the hierarchy of a big band or a jazz band or any band, right? But because of the differences of the horn. All right, you've got this swan neck on your tenor sax. That's what they call this. I didn't come up with that, but that offers a little bit more resistance. You got a bigger mouthpiece. Bigger mouthpiece changes your articulation. All right, smaller mouthpiece, a little more of a closed tip, easier to articulate than on a tenor sax. So articulation differences, all right, and just the theoretical differences. Listen to Bird, that guy, and Charlie Parker, and listen to John Coltrane. Listen to how they approached. Listen to Wayne Shorter. He's a marvelous tenor sax player. Listen to him. Listen to Lenny Pickett, another marvelous tenor sax player. Listen to those guys. And then go and listen to excuse me, listen to Kenny Garrett on alto sax, and listen to David Sanborn on alto sax. Check out the sounds, check out how they differ, check out how they approach a solo, check out how they articulate, all right? And that'll give you a master class in the differences between each of the horns. So yeah, they're different, they're both very cool. If the option is open, play both. Realize that, you know, each occupies is basically a different job, but why not? Why not play them all? Yeah, saxophone is awesome. All right, you have any questions, any comments? Or if you're in town and you'd like a private lesson, we can do Zoom, we can do in person. DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. DaveGoodSax@gmail.com. Or reach out to me in the comments below. I love to hear from you. If you have any ideas for future little mini master classes like this one, or any questions that you'd like to have answered, please shoot them to me. I'll take care of them, all right? In the meantime, play that sax and enjoy it, all right? That's the whole point behind, that's the whole reason for being. These things make the best sound you have ever heard in your life. Go dig it. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.